Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to Northtown News Magazine.
Welcome to Northtown News. I'm Marty Levinson.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to Northtown News Magazine with Avi Myers.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned for the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet Hope, Chicago. 22 is 4, 446. Come on, baby.
Hi there, I'm the real Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, wreaking havoc and chaos across the community since 1991. Thanks to my entire technical crew and co-producer Sonny Hirsch. Dial us up on the web, ntnm.org, over 200,000 shows watched. We're real big on caps. We'd like the police department to get real big on caps again, and hopefully that'll happen someday. It is judicial season, and we try to present as many judges as we possibly can. And as a matter of fact, as I was speaking earlier with my first guest, some of the most important stuff that you're ever going to have happen to you could be in front of a judge. So it's something that it's really good to pay attention to who's running, who the people are, because, I mean, it is important. And actually, it's kind of cool because I guess the reputation spread over the years. This is the first time on the show we've ever had a candidate for the Illinois Supreme Court. And it is a pleasure to introduce you to Joy Virginia Cunningham. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, thank you, and I'm glad you could make it.
Well, I wouldn't miss it.
Super. Now, you're presently an appellate court judge?
I am. I presently sit in the 2nd Division of the 1st District Appellate Court. The 1st District is Cook County. And I've been on the court for 5.5 years.
As an appellate judge?
As an appellate court judge, yes.
Were you a judge before you were an appellate court?
Yes, but not immediately before I became an appellate court judge. Immediately before joining the appellate court, I was Senior Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary for the Northwestern Memorial Healthcare System.
Very cool, and a very good healthcare system.
A very good healthcare system. I feel very pleased to have been associated with that.
Yeah, and before I forget, I want to thank Kathy Posner, as well as Kelly Sullivan, who helped make arrangements for you to get here.
Yes, they were wonderful.
Now, appellate judge, for those people who don't realize, that's a higher step.
Yes. The court system in the state court system and the federal as well, there are 3 levels. There's the trial court, and in Illinois that's called the circuit court. And then above the circuit court is the appellate court. We are in fact the supervising court for the circuit court. And then above the appellate court is the Supreme Court. And that is the ultimate, it's the Uber court for the entire judicial system in the state of Illinois. And there are 7 Supreme Court justices. The state is divided into 5 judicial districts, and each of the 4 judicial districts outside Cook County elect 1 justice each, and Cook County elects 3.
I guess due to size. So
that's right, due to population.
Right. So this is a countywide election you're involved in?
It's a countywide election, but once I'm on the court, I will have statewide jurisdiction.
Very cool. Now, what kind of cases have you been hearing as an appellate court judge?
Well, that's what makes the appellate court such an interesting court, and in many respects, probably the most important court in many respects in the court system, because all comers, the appellate court must take all comers, and by that I mean whatever is appealed, from a traffic ticket, you hardly see those, but occasionally that happens,
wow,
to a multi-million-dollar contract dispute between 2 large insurance companies, to a child custody case, to a divorce case, to a slip and fall, whatever it is, it all ends up in the appellate court, and the cases are randomly assigned by computer.
And about how many appellate court judges are there?
There are 53 for the entire state. For Cook County, there are 24, and in the courthouse that I sit in, and it's divided into 6 divisions, and there are 4 justices in each of the 6 divisions. And 3 of us sit at any given time. 3 judges hear a case.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just single people.
Right. 3 judges, because remember, we're a court of review. So if your case gets to the appellate court, that means the case is over. And one of the parties is trying to undo what happened in the trial court. That's usually how the case ends up in the appellate court. And so, as with most systems of review, that's not placed in the hands of one person. So 3 justices hear the case, and in order for any action to be taken, 2 of the 3 must agree. And then the third one, if you don't have agreement with the third person, that person can write a dissenting opinion or a special concurring opinion, but 2 of the 3 justices who hear the case must agree on what the outcome should be.
And no jury system at all in the appellate court?
No, in the appellate court, it's strictly a legal argument. Only lawyers are permitted to argue before the court. If you are arguing pro se, of course you can argue your own case, but there are no witnesses called, no testimony or evidence is taken. All of that is done in the trial court, and the appellate court simply is asked to determine whether the law was followed in this particular case. For example, did the trial court act correctly procedurally? We just heard a case today that had the issue in the case was whether the trial court properly admitted evidence of a prior crime in a case involving in a murder case. And so, as one of the 3 judges called upon to hear this case, we would look at the law. What does the settled law say is the criteria that the trial judge should have used, and then we'll determine either the trial judge was correct or he wasn't correct. And the appellate court has a great deal of power. We can overturn the decision, we can affirm the decision, we can modify it, we can send the case back with instructions for the trial court to do something else. So the appellate court is a safety net, if you will. That's one of my colleagues, Justice Nathaniel House, described the appellate court as the safety net for ordinary people, and I think that's true.
Sounds good. You're making very good sense of it. It's something I didn't quite understand as well as I do now, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And now you're taking the next step up.
And now I'm taking the next step up. The Illinois Supreme Court is the ultimate decision maker for the judicial system for the people of the state of Illinois. And it's a very important court. There are only 7 justices, and they make decisions. And it's interesting to note that the Supreme Court doesn't have to take every single case that comes before it. The appellate court does. The Supreme Court is a case of discretion, if you will. There's only one category of case that the Supreme Court routinely must take, and that's constitutional issues, usually a first impression. And prior to the abolishment of the death penalty, they had to take that as well. Those were the 2 categories. So now what the Supreme Court does is it takes cases that are in a state of being unsettled. For example, if the 1st District Appellate Court and the 5th District Appellate Court hear a case that have similar issues, but they come to 2 different conclusions, the Supreme Court will likely take that case and say, from now on in Illinois, here's how this issue will be decided. So they are the ultimate decision maker when there's an unsettled area of law. And that's very important because it gives the trial court judges, as well as lawyers, as well as litigants, certainty and finality on issues that are unsettled.
Very good. Now, one thing I should point out, you've got the highest qualifications, highly qualified.
I did. The Chicago Bar Association has a judicial evaluation committee where they evaluate candidates, and it's a very rigorous and thorough evaluation process. They speak to over 100 people that I have no idea everyone that they speak to, but people who have appeared before me as a judge, litigants who have appeared before me. I've worked for people who have worked with me. They've spoken to over 100 people, and then they do a background check. They read the opinions I've written, and then I have to appear before the committee for an interview, and it's a very rigorous process, and I feel very pleased to have gotten their highest rating.
It's really excellent, and there's no better organization or better ratings, so that's terrific.
I'm very pleased with that.
For sure. If people would like to contact you or see your website,
JoyCunninghamForJustice.com.
JoyCunninghamForJustice.com. Good luck on the campaign trail, which has already started.
It certainly has, and I think it's a great opportunity for the citizens of Illinois to elect someone who comes to the court with a very broad practice background, as I have. I've done many things over the course of my practice career as a lawyer.
Thank you so much, Judge Joy Virginia Cunningham. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you for having me, Avi.
My pleasure.